Hey there folks, welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the recently released Harlem Line for Train Sim World 2, which is probably the most commuter-ific route for North American routes since I think Long Island Railroad, which didn't have the best reception, and it had an attempt to be fixed several times and it's still kind of So we're going to be taking a look at this route as a whole. I'm going to start with basically the tutorial for each thing to make sure I'm covering everything on how to operate each multiple unit. We're going to be taking a look at the map itself, and then we're going to be taking a run in each multiple unit for a moment just to test out, you know, the sounds, the physics, the feel, you know, how everything looks, and making sure these safety systems work and that whole thing. So anyway, let's get right into it. This is Train Sim World 2 again, Harlem Line. You're going to get Grand Central Terminal to North White Plains. It's only a distance of about 24 miles, but it's also got the Yankee Stadium, East 153rd Street Station, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to get the M7A M3A and M7A EMU of the Metro North liveries, as you can see here. It's got a full 24-hour timetable, 5 scenarios, 200 plus services, apparently new physics and sounds on both of the multiple units, and a new skybox as well. So we got a newer kind of skybox and clouds and all that good stuff compared to what we had in the past. It was a mod until recently, but I think Dovetail, with a late update yesterday or the day before, added it to several routes. So anyway, let's get right into it.
Welcome to Tuckahoe. Today you will be taken through the operation of an M3A in Metro North Railroad livery.
All right.
During this brief introduction, we will go through the critical driving controls and passenger operations.
I believe that's Matt Pedalson's wife.
Climb aboard to get started.
All right, so we are starting with the Bud M3A, which is essentially just an M3, but Metro North added the A to their multiple units, so it's M3A and M7A. The M1 and the M3 were very, very similar multiple units in a series together. These were originally known as Metropolitans, I think, or something of that sort. Some old catchphrase that they got. Used from 1984 to present. 142 of these were for Metro North, numbering between 8,000 and 8,141. They've got a 120-person capacity per married car, if I'm not mistaken. Train. Actually sounds quite nice. They are stainless steel car bodies with fiberglass caps on each end, and they were built for 100-mile-an-hour working, but they're limited to 80 here. They've got 640 horsepower per married unit, and it is a GE DC cam resistance control traction motor kind of deal going on, prime mover there, and it's 650 to 750 volt DC. So that is enough about the M3 in itself. So let's go ahead and hop in this thing and see what it's got to offer here. We'll take a finer look at things after the tutorial.
Position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. The master key is used to activate the control desk.
And I am going to attempt to use my rail driver to see if it works with all this good stuff here. So let's go ahead and pop that in.
The reverser determines the direction of travel.
There we go.
This unit has a combined throttle brake handle called a master controller, which needs to be set before beginning the startup procedure.
Okay. So max brake. I'm trying to use the rail driver here. It's not working that well. All right. Maybe I won't be using rail driver right now.
In order to release the brakes, the brake pipe must be fully charged. You can only do this when the master controller is in the max brake position.
All right, so we got to charge the air. See if it's actually moving here. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see the gauge up there. I don't know if I put the brake in the right position. This is not going very well. Okay, now it's in max brake. It's not wanting to work with the rail driver. It's kind of a pain in the nads. All right, here we go. Now it's charging. It doesn't take that long. There it goes.
Lights are important to let others know that this unit is operational.
Indeed. So turn them on. No? Bright? Okay.
We will now need to open the doors to begin loading.
Uh-huh. And door control switch. Unlock rearward doors. Both sides. Set it back to off.
This train features an onboard cab signaling system with 5 speed limits shown on the aspect display unit.
Yeah, boy.
R indicates a restricted speed with a 15 miles per hour speed limit. M indicates a medium speed with a 30 miles per hour speed limit.
Doing my best Vanna White impression here.
L indicates a limited speed with a 45 miles per hour speed limit.
Uh-huh.
60 indicates a 60 miles per hour speed limit.
Cool, cool.
And N indicates that the speed limit is governed by the track speed, which is shown in the digital readout.
Okay.
We are now ready to depart for Bronxville and continue the service. Move the master controller into the power range to start moving.
Alright, reach 30 mph. We'll go over the finer details of these things after the tutorial, as I mentioned a moment ago, and really try and take a look. I just want to make absolute certain I don't miss anything, and I kind of want to see what Dovetail chooses to show you versus what they don't choose to show you, because I am pretty sure there's not a manual. Let's see, I'm looking for the manual right now. Negative. That is a negative, Ghost Rider. There is no manual. Shocker. And we're not going to do this whole tutorial because I'm sure it's going to do some e-brake thing, which I find kind of useless. They've been thrown into tutorials.
Before stopping at each station, you should
That sounds pretty
move
good.
the master controller into the braking range to begin to slow down.
That's typically what they do. There are level street crossings on this line, and they'll typically boop once or twice with the horn, just, you know, whether they're passing through a station or intending to stop, just to let all these knuckleheads know a train's coming. If you're operating in a middle track or something similar, not near the platform, they typically will not announce their presence with a horn. Alright, so doors calm. There we go. Boom. Still got that weird thing with the dynamic sound where it's like it wants to come through and then it stops and doesn't. It's been happening on a lot of their DLCs lately. There's hardly any difference. Alright, lock them up. Key out.
Proceed to the next stop at Fleetwood. On the way, we will perform a recovery of the emergency brakes.
Yeah, no, we won't. Sorry. Alright, M7 is next. Alright, M7A time.
Welcome to North White Plains Yard. Today you will be taken through the operation of an M7A in Metro North Railroad livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the critical driving controls and passenger operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started.
Okay. Alright, so a little bit about old Flatty McFlatface here. You can see the M3A to the right, just to the right there. The Bombardier-built M7A is what this is here. Delivery on these began in 2004 for the Long Island Railroad and Metro North, basically replacing the old M1s, etc. They are also third rail, 750-volt DC. Alright, thank you. I shall continue now. Around about, let's see, I think about 300 of 1,100 cars built went to Metro North. Their numbers are 4,000 to 4,335. Roughly 100 peeps per car capacity. That kind of varies with the A and B car. They were also, like the M3A, designed for 100 miles an hour, but limited to 80, sadly. The power, we'll say the power, comes from the Mitsubishi IGBT VVVF traction system. 1,060 horsepower, which is considerably a bit more than the M3. And they also, from, you know, there are slight differences between these and what Long Island Railroad uses themselves. Their number boards are not lit, and there is a little vent or hood type dealie on the end of the cars because it's very leafy and branchy out here versus the Long Island Railroad where it's just very wide open. So it should have a vent if I'm not mistaken, and there it is. Yes, it does. Okay. Alright, well, I got that right. That's shocking.
Take a seat in the engineer's position.
Thank you.
This is... The master key is used to activate the control desk.
Yepers. Gonna have to charge the brakes on this one as well, I believe.
This unit has a combined throttle brake handle called a master controller, which needs to be set before beginning this.
Max brake.
In order to release the brakes, the brake pipe must be fully charged.
Yeah, here it is. The same deal.
You can only do this when the master controller is in the max brake position.
And it's charging. There it is.
Lights are important to let others know that we are now ready to depart for North White Plains and begin the service. Move the master controller into the power range to start moving.
Let's bug, shug. Alright, 10 mile an hour. Stop at location. Do I have to do it at 10 mile an hour? I got the radio up here. Does this actually work? Okay, I don't want to mess with that right now. Let's save that for later. Get all into it. Now, as you can see, the track speed is set to 15. It's restricted right now, and I'm obviously going faster than 15, but the safety systems are not turned on. And a problem with these tutorials is they don't teach you how to do that.
You should sound the horn once on a... Move the master controller into the braking range to begin to
Which is also what a manual would be very nice with. I don't like that crap on the bottom there, so I'm going to hit Control 7 and see if that works. It does not, because it's a tutorial. If you want to turn that stuff off, the stop colors, I believe it's Control 7 on PC.
To unlock the doors, a key must be inserted in the corresponding door control panel.
Which is what a conductor would do. These do have conductors, the M3s, as well. I mean, you're certainly not going to do this. I mean, you very well could. You know, don't get me wrong. Teach their own. Potato. But to get up and have to go over here and all that jazz. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a bit much. I'll see if the typical Y and U key still work, as well as just hitting the tab key and opening those as well. Take the key out.
Nice work. Let's continue the journey to White Plains.
Alright. That's pretty much what we'll do with the M7. Alright, so let's get cracking. Right, so we'll go ahead and take a look at the map, services, scenarios, and all that jazz. Hit Explore. These are your training modules, so you got 3 of those. This one here is just kind of a bleh introduction of talky talk. Explore on foot, of course you can do those as well. Let's see, GCT, North White Plains, basically all the stations. So that's nice. Go ahead and back out of there. Scenarios, you got 5 scenarios. Train to the Game, Peak Performance, Snow Globetrotters, Buds to the Big Apple, Subway Series Direct. Clever. Alright, and Timetable. Now this was kind of confusing. Initially they said like 240 services, then 260, then 230. They changed the numbers several times. It seems they're often not on the same page at Dovetail. But anyway, so it's quite a few. So the M3A, available services 49. So here's these. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. M7, 214. Now these do operate different trains. They're not like fill-ins or anything like that. So they do operate totally independent. Alright, so let's go ahead and just hop in one and see what we can break. Alright, so we are back in the Big Apple, Manhattan. We are in Grand Central Terminal as of right now. And just like with all my other videos, in case everyone's not on the same page, I just want to give a little bit of history, backstory of what this is in real life. This is, of course, the Metro North Railroad, which this line is based upon. It is a suburban commuter rail service ran by the kind of New York-owned Metro Trans Authority, or MTA. It runs New York City to northern burbs, Connecticut, Manhattan, Bronx, etc. There are 5 lines, 124 stations in total, level, elevated, and underground. It began in 1983, but had beginnings as far back as 1832 with various other metro lines at the time in and around New York. I believe Penn Central kind of gobbled up and acquired most of those railroads by 1969. MTA by 1972, Conrail by 1976, and essentially took form to what you see today, the Metro North by the MTA, in 1983. Where they kind of just took controls of commuter ops as a whole. This is the Harlem Line. It's essentially between about a 1 and 4 track line, typically a 2-track main though. About 82 miles in length from GCT, which is where we're at now, to Chatham, or Chatham, as my friends in England say, New York. And there are 38 stations on this line in real life. There are not in this game. So first, I'm going to see if it'll let me fly around the station here. Oh, thanks, sweet baby Jesus in a manger with exotic spices. Okay, so you can. Sometimes in underground areas and large stations like this, the A key does not work. I just kind of want to zoom around. So this is Grand Central Terminal. It's underground. Grand Central Station, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It is darker than HE double hockey sticks back here. It's kind of on the dark side anyway. Now, I do have some INI settings. For those of you that don't know what those are, they are just kind of settings where you can change various graphical things to put the game more to your liking, if you will. Consoles, that is not an option, sadly. Maybe one day Dovetail Games will make it an option with, you know, other ways to just change the way stuff looks. But it looks okay in here. It doesn't look too terribly dark. I remember seeing initial screens, I believe, where it looked extremely dark. So maybe they tightened it up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not seeing a lot of passengers, though. Where are the rush hour passengers? I mean, this is freaking Grand Central Terminal, FFS. This place is busy. AF. All day, day. So, there's not very many people here. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on. I like the signs up here. That's pretty legit. They look fairly nice as well. I'm seeing some strange, like, almost look like another font behind here. You see what I'm seeing here? It looks like a C right here, and something right there, and then something right here. That's strange. Anywho. There's one of the little collectible things if you're into that. I am not. Railings look alright. It's all grimy, you know, it's that kind of stuff where you touch it and you smell your hand, it smells like pennies or copper. It's, you know, it's gold. It looks pretty legit. It's not too bad. The floor looks alright. A little bit low res, but overall the coloring seems okay. These platforms and this safety stuff right here, like, they use this, I swear, in like every route in Train Sim World, and it always looks the same. There's a little bit of ambient sound going on in here, which is fairly nice, but you move certain areas and it just completely goes silent, which is weird. Go up in here and see what's crappening. This place is like a maze. I am not going to go all through GCT. Not gonna. Well, hello. Okay, this is very interesting. What the hell is that supposed to be? Don't tell me that's supposed to be the Empire State Building. Don't even do it. Because I can't stop looking at it. This is interesting, though. Okay, so yeah. I remember the same kind of thing being a deal on Long Island Railroad. You could do some stuff like that. And the old Northeast Corridor, they so aptly dubbed, even though it was like a tiny fraction of the Northeast Corridor. Got some crap all over the ground. This looks appropriate for inner city New York, so that looks pretty nice. Could add a bit more. Got some travel posters there. This place is huge, though. I mean, look, track 30, track 32, track 33. Massive, mega chungus, thick with 2 C's, all that kind of stuff. It's another collectible. I don't even know what they are because I really don't care about them. I feel like they're kind of pointless, honestly. What we got going on in here? Dead end. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's modeled nice in here, but it just seems kind of lifeless. Like, there's not a lot of people, and it's not very detailed. It's just very bland. It's hard to describe. It's just like, I don't know. It's just everything's like too clean. You know? A lot of trains parked up over here. That looks really nice. Like it. Got the track signals down there. Alright, let's hop in this train and get the hell out of Dodge, shall we? Where are we at? I tried to do the Control Zero trick. I don't know if that worked. Is this... No. We're in an M3. Oh god, where are we at? Okay, here we go. I just remembered all I had to do was hit the 1 key. God, I'm an idiot. Alright, let's go ahead and open the doors. So I want to double check and make sure you can use just the Y or U. It looks like you can. Alright, but we're not going to take off. We're going to take a look around. So we're going to clog up the railroad a hot minute. Just take a look around here. Can you open this door? Does not appear so. God, how many handles do you need? What's this up here? It looks like the interior of an M1, M3. I mean, these things are massive on the inside. It always amazes me how freaking wide these are. Especially when you look at multiple units of other nations and things like that. These things are super, super wide. The seats look okay. The texture is kind of just... Looks like something you'd see in like one of those kids zone places where people drop their kids off so they can run around and scream and, you know, throw stuff at each other. It's got that kind of material. The lighting doesn't look terrible. It's not good. It still doesn't have that kind of yellow tinge. There's a little on the outside here that looks okay, but it's still just extremely just institutional white. Just, you know, there's no color to it at all. It does not look realistic. So that's one of the things they could change. But that's lighting in Train Sim World as a whole. It all looks like that for some reason. Now the lighting in the car itself actually doesn't look too bad. You know, what's being cast down into the car doesn't look too bad. Now the direct light themselves look like dog poo. What are these creeps doing? That's strange. Let's pop one open. What's up, broheems? Got the bell. There we go. Alright, let's get out of here, shall we? I want to drive this thing. So apparently, Dovetail Games kind of screwing the American fan base over time and time again. Received help from various people. I don't know who they are. Anyway, received help from various people on things like sounds physics, the way certain things look, things of that nature. But I believe Dovetail still had to edit said sounds, which is always a problem, it seems, as well. So, just from the tutorials, they did sound a little bit better. I will give them that. But we'll try and do like a full deal here and really check everything out. So this is your closet, basically. The lighting in here doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit warmer again. You got some brush strokes up here, which is nice. This looks kind of crappy. This texture right here on that box looks very low res and just like, what were they thinking type of look. Everything else looks okay except for this. These trim pieces look kind of funny. These like streaky looking things. I'm not sure if it's supposed to really be like that. The back wall looks alright. This panel up here and the fan, of course. I feel like in the Long Island Railroad multiple units, you could operate that. I may be mistaken. So there's a battery key. It tells you nothing about it, but that's obviously how you would turn it on. Let's see. Door operations on. Communication systems on. ACSES on. ATC on. Dead man's pedal. We'll live dangerously. On. Alerter. On. Alright, so there you go. Turn all that crap on. You should be good to go. Seat looks okay. There's some odd, like, shininess going on where it almost looks like it's got, like, a vinyl wrap on it. Like grandma's, you know, special living room that nobody's allowed in. Where you can't sit on certain chairs and whatnot. Anyway, let's pop a squat here. Close the door. Have some privacy. Bit shiny there as well. We'll go ahead and open the window. Madam. Alright, can you turn the light off? Thank God. So it's on by default. Alright, let's pop the key in, shall we? So you're going to have to pop that bad boy in and on. You're going to need to put the... It is a master controller, so it's throttle and brake. So bring it down to... Oh, that's got to be forward. Oh, crap. What am I doing? That's got to be on max brake. There we go. So here's the brake gauge. The needle right here, the white one, the white brake pipe needle is what you need to move. So I'll try and angle the camera here like so. And we'll charge dim brakes. And also the sounds might be kind of funky in here, so I'm going to wait till we're outside to really take a look at the sounds in the exterior, because a lot of these things, especially I think the M7, are very loud brake-wise when they open the brakes up. So we'll see if that's too legit to quit as well. Let's see what else we got here. Buzzer. That sounds pretty good. Our acknowledge button. There's our horn, uncoupling switch. Got our headlights. We'll put them on bright. Cab light. There's your whippers. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What's that? I scroll over something here. Marker lights on. That, of course, is if this is the ass end of the consist. Emergency brake handle does not work. Boo. Boo. There's the key for the doors, which I will not use because I feel like it's kind of useless. Maybe if there was like multiplayer or something, sure. Now this metal down here looks pretty good. That's alright texture-wise. That looks okay. The little holes in it. You can't really tell what those are, you know, if they're screws or bolts or whatever. It's not very detailed. But the color and the texture of it looks okay. This right here is kind of unacceptable. I understand this is supposed to be very abrased, and just look how chunky that is. That's ridiculous, Dovetail. Come on. It's Minecraft. It's Roblox. And this is not Minecraft or Roblox. This is Train Sim World. Let's step it up in that department, please. That'd be great. Just saying. Here's the radio. So it actually says Metro North Railroad to Harlem. Can change the channel. Huh. Alright, what does scan do? Interesting. So it's neat. You know, it's lit up and you can change the channels. That's kind of cool. I won't deny. Manual override, snow brake, headlight breaker. Okay, is that everything we can mess with? Let's get out of here. Kind of hear the brakes. Now, these things are just... like, all you hear are the air conditioners, essentially, the fans. It's like that. And you still hear them, but there's still kind of a loop there, so... make sure my alerter reset works there. Signals look okay. Need to take a closer look at that. Now, did I turn the safety systems on right? Because we're restricted, but it's not actually giving me a number. There it is. Okay. So these are your apply and release brake lights. So it doesn't actually show the speed, if I'm not mistaken. Not in here anyway. Out on the line itself it might. So it'd probably be best to actually pay attention to the tutorial, unlike what I did. But again, a manual would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You know, at a glance, know your speeds. Got a blinky. Yeah, those ground signals look okay. I kind of want to take a better look at that. Turn the light back off. Yeah. I'm not totally sure about the editing there. The sound is okay. Alright, that was strange. It went from a 10 to 60. What the hell? Alright, here we go. Sounds. It's going to take a minute to get out of the tunnel, so let's just enjoy the ride together. Okay. I like the tunnel lighting. That looks alright. I mean, the track and the ballast color is wrong. A bit bright. But the lighting looks okay. The textures don't look very great on the ceiling. They look very blocky and chunky as well. We'll just coast. The run sounds are okay. You can hear a bit of rail noise, air, but one thing that's noticeably missing that I have not heard yet is just kind of road noise, you know, clickety-clack, clatter, joints. I mean, these, go watch any YouTube video with these in them. It's prominently loud. It's like all you hear. So that kind of stinks. I mean, this is not welded rail that we're on here, so. All right, our first stop's Harlem 125th. Up on the L. Well, they don't call it the L in New York, if I'm not mistaken. That's a Chicago thing. But the elevated line or viaduct, or whatever you want to call it, out into daylight. Here we go. That looks okay. That approach out into daylight looks okay. And I can see that the skybox has been changed. So bravo on Dovetail for finally doing that. There was a mod many moons ago that utilized that, where you could add it to your game. So it was always available, but I guess Dovetail finally set it up to where you could use it. And I believe they added it to several other routes as well, so Okay, I heard a little bit of joint sound there. The ground color seems very light, and not a good light. I mean, it's lighter farther up the line once you get up into the burbs. It's almost like a salt and pepper, mainly salt. And some of the pictures I saw, it was just brown, which was wrong. Did it screw me over? I think it did. Sunny beaches. Alright, we are not going to open the doors here. I guess I didn't slow down in time. We'll pull up some. Now, some of these stations should have marker boards. I am also going to turn the headlights off of crazy, stupid, extremely bright on to dim, so it doesn't look as ridiculous. See a train coming inbound here. The brakes feel pretty nice. They don't feel overpowered at all. A little bit of squeaky as you stop. Alright, let's open this window as well. Alright, so the run into GCT from out here is a remarkable thing. I've never done it in real life, sadly, but just looking at pictures or cab rides or whatever heading into GCT, it's awesome. It's just something, I don't know, it's cool. This looks like crap. That skyline and why lights are that bright and prominent in the middle of the day is beyond me. That looks pretty dumb, though. And there are several buildings missing. What is going on with this ghost right here? The ghost of Harlem 125th. MetLife building. What's that crazy looking narrow ass building right there? That is not a thing. The hell is that? Dude, the freaking Hudson Line in New York, New Haven and Train Classic looked better than this. Come on, Derv Turl. What's the beef? And why are the lights so bright? It looks stupid. Man, that's shameful. That is shameful. That does not look like Manhattan. That does not look like downtown New York City. Now, all these buildings along here look okay. Like, you look straight down there, that's okay. Yeah, I know these what are they called? Lofts, or these apartment block things are not tit for tat. I know that for a fact, just from seeing photos of the place. But it's close. But that skyline, that S right there should have been paramount. And it, you know, I don't want to dwell, but it looks stupid. So, there's that. You got traffic lights. The stuff actually works. I don't know. I don't think so. There's a little bit of noise, but this would be very loud. This is a urban jungle. So this would be loud. There would be a ton of noise. You know, sirens, jackhammers, people screaming, cars, you know, just all kinds of stuff. So the sound could be a bit louder. That sounded okay. That sounded okay, but that's the M7. We need to mess around with the M3. Little junction box there. Poking out. The steel has a funky color as well. It almost looks like a pink, like a clay color. Yeah, everything just seems really like colorful yet flat. I don't know how to describe it. This stuff in real life is all very dark. And it's just, the colors seem really weird. The station looks okay for the most part, I think. Yeah, this, man, the coloring on this looks weird as hell. Look, look at this. The freaking font is like off of the board. That's cool. GG Dovetail. GG Dovetail. This looks like Harlem 125th for the most part, though. I'm sure there's some people that'll be like, there's a bolt right here that's missing. You know, I'm not gonna know stuff like that, but overall the package looks like Harlem 125th, except for that city skyline looks ridiculous. Let's sit outside and close the doors and watch this thing depart and see what she sounds like. Now, apparently as well, this was authorized and an official product of MTA themselves. It says it on the Steam page. So you'll see little logos and stuff like that, which are fairly legit. All right, let's boogie. Let's do the horn. Well, damn, son. That sounds all right. The sound is good. The editing is good. There's no crazy loop in there. It doesn't sound as deep. It doesn't seem like it's got that thickness that. But it still sounds pretty good. It's not very light with the presses like some stuff is in Train Sim Classic, but I don't know, call me spoiled with some horns in Train Sim Classic. Yeah, so it's kind of delayed. Let's go far back here and see what it sounds like real quick. And then we'll go, I promise. I'll shut up. Yeah, sounds alright. These things have unique horns, the M7 alike. Alright, see what she sounds like. Okay. I hear you, brake release. Well, they got that. I'm surprised with that. Again, it wasn't as loud, but it's there. I want to see if the marker lights are on the back by default. Long Island Railroad, some other stuff had issues with that. Yeah, they are. I'll be damned. Also, something else I'm noticing, the logo looks huge. It looks like it was stretched out, or it's too far to the right. Something is making me feel like it needs to be more over here, like scooched over that way some. Oh God, what's going on? That's Dead Man's Pedal. Alright, let's try and pay attention here. So this is the namesake Harlem River. This is the bridge over the Harlem River. Let's stick our head out like a retriever. The bridge looks pretty good. Again, it's still kind of got those weird flat colors. Oh, we got wood down there. Okay. A little bit of stuttery stutter. This bridge looks okay. Take a look at the river. This, you know, it's Train Sim World water. It doesn't look good. Looks like a bunch of petroleum's been spilt in it. It is the Harlem River, you know, I'll give it that. But, yeah, it looks okay. Bridge looks alright. Oh, it's even all kind of grimy and algae and moldy. That looks nice. Alright, the game kind of froze there. That's weird. Alright, so what I'm going to try and do, I don't want to do this entire route in the M3, so I'm going to try and go about halfway up to this branch right here, and then we'll hop in the M7 and go south halfway. But let's also see if the safety systems spank me on the hiney, you know, to keep me in check. I heard some joints there. Some more right there. Okay, I'm trying. There we go. I thought that son of a gun was on our track for a minute. So to the left, some of you that may be familiar, that left is the Hudson Line. Goes up the Hudson River. Branches off to the left there, and hold up. Hold up. Alright, now I'm confused. God, I wish this game had a pause like Train Sim Classic. Jesse Box. Okay. For a minute, I kind of got excited and thought maybe harkening back to Sam Patch Grade and the caboose on Sam Patch Grade. But I think those are actually a livery that I may have downloaded. I'm thinking that's what that is. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's continue. Man, I will concur. The sounds are okay. Those aren't bad. It just, well, one, the ballast color does not look right. If I recall correctly, it's not that dark and brown. It's more of like a light gray, like I said earlier, salt and pepper. And it's still got that patterning. I'm convinced that that's something that's going to stay with Train Sim World 2 and all of the routes forthcoming. It's just something they do. Probably easy. I mean, you know, with the rate that they crank out add-ons and whatnot. So what would have been nice is if, because there are car assistants or conductors or whatever the hell they're called, that announce stops and particular trains and where they're going and stuff like that. So that would have been cool had they recorded a dude or a dudette, you know, announcing certain station stops and what car to go to alight and things like that. That would have been cool, and I feel like that's not something that would have taken too much effort, right? Kind of listen to the run sounds here. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. There's just no rail clatter, you know? And, oh shit. Oh shit. This is what happens when I want to look around. Yeah, we're getting e-braked. That's fine. What I was trying to point out is the pilot down here is... Brake sounds alright. The pilot is like jammed into the rail. Look how flippin' close that is, man. So that's kind of funky. Alright, so put it in emergency. So what you're going to need to do is put this back in max brake, if you're unawares on how to do this, and you're going to need to charge the brakes again. So look at the brake pipe needle there. So I'm just going to pop it. And there they go. It's going back up. It's charging your system back up. And we should be you know what? I want to go outside and see what that sounds like. Real quick. I kinda heard the ass end of it there. Yeah, it's there. That brake release sound is there. It's just not terribly loud. The stuff I've seen and heard, it's been much louder than that. I don't know why we were getting e-braked. So we're not even really in the burbs yet, as you can see. I believe it kind of starts up here where this branches off. So we'll go another couple miles and then hop in the M7 and start in White Plains and head south. Okay, I'm seeing stop boards on the right there, so that's good. 4-car, I think was the last one I saw. And the ties look strange. And look at this weird kind of wave effect going on with the ties as we move along here. And now it's stopped, naturally, as I try to point it out. That's what happens. I don't know. The ties look odd, too, themselves. Maybe it's the color of the ballast? Not entirely sure. Long boy. Alright, so we're kind of now getting more into the burbs. It will start to get a bit more leafy and whatnot the further we go, but something else I'm noticing is the just regular old kind of dovetail grass that they put on the roots. I mean, look how light colored that is. It looks ridiculous. It almost looks nuclear. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's just too darn bright. It's crazy looking. You know, especially when you got the ground texture of the gravel and then ground and then the grass texture and then actual 3D grass. It just doesn't look right. Car's kind of hopping up and down. It's almost like a riding on a horse effect. At 8? Oh, we gotta slow down. It's doing it again. So there's a joint sound. Okay. But there's, you know, there's still not a lot of clatter going on that I feel like it needs. Anyway, interesting bit about this area is this line, sort of like how the Hudson Line follows the Hudson River. This line follows the Bronx River, which we are going over now. We kind of cross over it quite a few times. It's not very large. Here, crickets. Okay, we're kind of getting out to the countryside. So yeah, anyway, the line crosses or follows the Bronx River quite a ways. So it's that could be partly why the area is more leafy, not as urban because the river's there. You'll cross over it a couple of times. This is a nice looking bridge. It looks pretty legit. This might be I feel like it's one of the expressways, one of the interstates, like 287 or something. I don't know the roads like the back of my forehead around here. Here's the river over here. That's what I was talking about. So there we go. It's okay. It's kind of funky, the banks. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Again, you know, when we got stuff like the Risa Dresden route and the other Dresden route that came out and how awesome they looked, and then other kind of regions or countries within Train Sim World kind of have to settle with things like, how come? I feel like this, what I'm getting at is I just feel like this isn't the same kind of stature or quality as that last German route. It just does not look anywhere near that good. It doesn't look terrible. You know, not yet. Not so far. Not from what I've seen. Bridge looks okay. It's got the old kind of wrought iron, that green color, so that's okay. That's nice. Let's check this station out. Alright, Wakefield. So, you see this big gap right here? It's incomplete. Now, what I don't understand about that, if this is a true MTA authorized product and Dovetail partner, where the hell are the MTA logos, the Metro North logos, the Mind the Gap stuff? It's just blank. It's missing stuff. Was it a rush job? I don't get it. Sounds like pretty normal. Like, you know, it's pretty much what they look like. I don't know if that font's 1000% correct. Hello, British PIS. Man, it's like they just keep reusing the same crap over and over. Okay, so see, we've got a train behind us because I'm taking my sweet time. That is why you don't really see signals around here, because that's how this works. That's why you've got the ATC and ACSES to kind of keep trains moving, to keep them from having to stop. And we are not a stopper. And a thing about that, look at the floating ties. Sweet alien technology. The thing about these services, if you do a non-stop or an express from GCT to White Plains, it's going to be about 38 to 40 minutes, I think, on average. And if you do a stopper, it's going to be around about an hour. So it's still going to take quite a bit of time. You know, honestly, for me, I know a lot of people scream, "Oh, it's too short." It's kind of relative, you know. Say like a high-speed train, you know, the Shinkansen, the speed that it does, and they gave us 80 miles, okay? That would be too short, because the Shinkansen at full speed would cover that in no time. So that kind of stuff is relative. With this, there are quite a few stations in between here and there on this particular bit of the line, so it will take some time. And personally, that's about all the time I can spend doing one run on Train Sim World anyway. If I want to do some legit like train operations or whatnot, I'm going to do it in Train Sim Classic or Run 8. This is more so just to kind of hop in and maybe eat a bag of Doritos, or, you know, I don't know, just kind of hang out for a minute. I don't mind the kind of quickness of it, if you will. Alright, so we passed that. We're going to go ahead and stop this. We're going to hop in an M7 and head south and see what the more leafy, narrow area looks like of the route. Alright, welcome to North White Plains. We are now in the Bombardier M7A, and we're going to go south a little bit. Let's just take a look around here. So where we currently is... We are in the yard, just north of the station. There's quite a bit of stuff going on here. I'm seeing a few rail cars over here. Look like freight cars, possibly. The rest of these are obviously multiple units. Commuter trains. Let's zoom up here. Now, freight does serve this area. CSX serves... customers all the way up to Mount Vernon, if I am not mistaken. As of right now, there's no freight layered into this. You know, there's no depot for freight, really. There are a couple of sidings, so I don't know if that can be done. It's kind of sad, you know, that it's going to be like Boston Sprinter, you know, that route, being that CSX ran operations there as well. But Holy Invisible Cars Batman, what the hell? You guys see that? Those two, yeah, right there. They're invisible. Right here where my mouse is. And I zoom in. Visible. Invisible. Visible. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, it'd be nice to have some freight stuff. It's not extremely active, just like on, you know, the Providence line. Unless you get to the south end of the Providence line, then it is a bit more active. But you can see some tank cars over here, which is what I'm lamenting over. Got the loco shops, so the multiple unit shops there. Still hearing the crickets. The yard honestly looks okay. I mean, it looks fairly matched all the way across the board. The ballast is still wrong. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty damn sure it does not look like this. And that's huge. I mean, you spend 99% of your time in this game sitting about yay here, right? And the bottom half of your screen is this. So it needs to look right. That's kind of a big deal. So yeah, anyway. The yard looks okay other than that. There's a few grassy spots, patches. Got some ties laying around, a couple of spools, sandbags, all that kind of crap. A couple of offices and whatnot. Right, so let's hop in. We'll take a look at the M7A. Let me get my HUD back on. The cab is bright inside. I think this little spotlight's on, so I'll try and figure out how to turn that off. Let's open that. You can let these down just like on Long Island. Got a little drink holder there. Open the door. MTA Metro North, fully equipped FRA Type 223 glazing. That's referring to the glass. I believe. That e-brake handle works. It's strange the M3 it did not. Take a look in here. It's a little bright, but this looks okay. I feel like this looks okay. I mean, you could probably doctor this, you know, if you took a photo of this right here, this angle, doctored it up a bit. This could be passable as photo real. It looks okay. It really does. It's just a tiny bit bright. And the lights don't look as stupid as the M3 lights. They are not the same. So that's interesting. There's your camera. Big Brother's watching. Or sister. Or papa. Or mama. That's your evacuation instructions for when you eat too much cheese. There's your restrooms. Oh, you can't open the door! Literally unplayable. I know. I guarantee the last Dovetail stream that they did, someone asked about opening the door to the crapper. I would not doubt it for a second. I don't know what it is with people wanting to get into the freaking bathroom. I don't get it. Anywho. It looks like an M7. The colors look legit. The seats, they're like the same color, same as the M3. I mean, it looks okay in here. It's just a tad bright. But not really like bright as in brightness. It's just bright like the lighting is whack, because the lighting in this game is whack. I do like the little logos though, like this here. Please do not block the door, Metro North. Some little foamer with a handheld like, "Hey mister, can I record the front of the train?" That's what that's for. We'll go ahead and open that. Alright, ATC on, ACSES on, alerter on. Dead man pedal on. That's it. That's everything, I believe. Let's see what we got back here. Lock rearward doors. Oh, that's just the door mechanism. Not going to mess with that. Let's pop a squattage. Alright, the key is always in. So we'll turn it on. You can hear the air running. The M7, just these ambient noises sitting here sound way better than the Long Island M7. They do sound different. Alright, so let's same as the M3. We'll go ahead and put this in max brake. Yep, there we go. Now we got to charge it. This one actually tells you to charge it here. Luckily you can see the button and the gauge down here, so same deal with the M3. Just charge it up. Let's do it as far as we can. There we go. Car wash button. Car wash, yeah. Door override, desk light. There we go. That's what that is. Okay, yep, that's off. Gauge lights all the way up. Cab lights, nope. Marker lights, nope. That's your tail lights, essentially. Headlights, we'll put them on bright for a night. You got your blind. We opened the window, right? Alright. Can you do... Yep. So just like the M3, looks like you can mess with the radio. I mean, it's gonna always stay on Harlem because, well, this is the Harlem Line, so it's just kind of neat that you can mess with it, I guess. You know, if there's a little chatter on there every now and then, that'd be cool as hell, just like station announcements from live conductors. It's not a recording, it's someone actually picking up a hot mic and going, mic checka checka 1 2 checka, you know, that kind of thing. So that would be nice. Maybe Dovetail could look into something like that for the future on the commuter routes, because some of those conductors have personalities and some don't, and you know, they're all different and interesting. Dead Man's Pedal. Here's your screen. A lot of stuff. Alright, first things first, horn. Call me stupid, because I am most of the time, but I don't think that sounds as good as the M3 horn. It's got the quill in it, though, which me likey. It still sounds good. Let's be honest. LBH. That sounds alright. I mean, hell. Go back to Long Island M7 in this game. That sounds good. Okay. Let's continue. It's got a little bit more reverb inside, you know. Shaking all these interior pieces around. Rattly rattle. Alright, shall we boogie? Oh, I wanna hear what the sounds like, the brake release, because these are pretty loud in real life. And it's interesting. To me anyway, so. You hear it a little bit. You know, this is one of those times where I feel like Dovetail and their roots, aside from the German stuff, it's always like a catch-22. You're either going to get good stock and a crappy root, or the opposite. Good root, crappy stock. You know, I feel like Sherman Hill's kind of the same way. The rolling stock was good. It had better sounds. We got the SD70 ACE. You know, same deal. New sounds, different physics. A little bit better than years past, for sure. But the root was kind of a joke, because a lot of the colors were off, and it just ran very, very, very poorly. Unless you turn all your settings down. But then again, what's the point of playing it? You know, if you want it to look like Minecraft, go play Minecraft. So again, I kind of feel like the rolling stock is the star of the show with this add-on, without a doubt. It sounds great. It feels great. Whereas the root is just kind of meh. It's like an afterthought. It's like when you go to a fast food restaurant and you get you a chicken burger and some waffle fries. While, yes, waffle fries are delicious, that's not my point. The root is the waffle fry. This M7 is your chicken burger. I'm also noticing the rail squeal and flange squeal and all that, and grindage is noticeably louder in this thing than the M3. Almost too much. I mean, goodness gracious. Alright, so there's the stupid colors I don't like, which I was talking about earlier in the tutorial. If you'd like, you can turn those off with Control 7. Okay. The more I play around with this horn, the more I like it. It still doesn't have that depth, that you know, but it still sounds good. Sounds like it's mixed fairly well. And something else, if I'm not mistaken, Pat Medelson himself said that, oh yeah, this is definitely getting rush hour passengers. I remember that. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Too. There are not very many passengers here. This route almost looks dead. This is a highly populated area. And a lot of people commute to and from the city. Almost sounds like a siren. Alright, let's head back here and check out the doors, see what they sound like when you pop them. I'm hearing a lot of crickets in the daytime. That's weird, you know. Gotta say. I like the lights. That's legit. That's essentially so you can tell when doors are open or closed, just like on some Amtrak stock. The exterior of this thing's got that stainless steel look again. They did an okay job with it. It does not look terrible. Just a little low res. I mean, this is something I feel like they could have done a slightly more sharpish job on. Now these hinges right here look pretty good. But, you know, overall, like, if you're looking at it from, like, yay about right here, it looks fine. When you get up close is when you just notice the blocky, chunky blocks. Blocky, chunky blocks. New catchphrase. Got the fans moving up here. Here's the vent as well, which these on the Long Island Railroad do not have these vents there. We'll go ahead and close the door. See the light blinking there. Those sounds are pretty rad, I gotta admit. That's not too shabby. Let's see what the safety system does and sounds like on this Mammoth Jammer. It just seems to me like the sound overall on this is much louder than the M3. The hell was that? It's like the train just automatically braked. Oh yeah! That transition. Dude, that sounds okay. It's got a very haunting sound to it. Now, as far as performance, which I haven't really talked about, and I guess with good reason, because nothing's really made me talk about it, it seems relatively smooth. Now, it is a little narrow area. you know, it's not super busy. There are a couple of stutters and whatnot, like going on the elevated bit, the viaduct, just outside of GCT. But I think that's just Dovetail Games Train Sim World in a whole anyway, like stuff just like that. But there doesn't seem to be any noticeable performance dip. With this route, it seems fairly smooth as far as I can tell. Here's White Plains. These interesting little doohickeys here on the railing. The stations look good. Again, I've not been here, but the advent of this thing called the Google lets you visit anywhere in the world with the fingertips on your hand. You know, or voice to text or whatever. And this looks okay. It looks pretty legit. I mean, this is what this area looks like. It's a lot more burbed out than the Cité. This looks okay. Little sneaky tunnel. Oh, nice. They even got the, I don't know what this stuff's called. It's like subway tile. That looks cool. That's nice, though. I can dig it. The planter and just weeds and whatnot, bushes going out of control down there. That doesn't look too bad. Now, that does. It's just open right there. Like, come on. There's the river down there. Bronx River. I'm fairly certain it's the Bronx River. This intersection looks okay. Looks fairly straight. The corners look good with the sidewalks. The way the stripes just stop looks stupid, though. You know, it's just the tools that they use for the game. I don't know how it works, but I feel like it could look better. White Plains is the sign. Pretty cool. And the lights. Yeah, this looks okay out here. This really does. This looks A-okay ski. Hell, I dare say this is better looking than the part in Manhattan. And I had a feeling it was going to be like that. Alright, we'll boogie down a little bit more, and then we're going to check out the little branch that goes to Yankee Stadium and see what we can see there. Another train? Max power! That looks good. Very legit. Panicking, that's fine. Panic braking and clearing. See if we can break this one out. It does feel good, accelerating and braking. It feels very nice. I could have waited. We'll just stop here. I thought I heard announcements for a brief moment. Field station, that's cool. It looks okay. Very unique. It's got a Bavarian flair. Or something like that. These platforms look okay. Oh, these are the little statue doohickeys. There's a few. I think there's a couple of stations that have these. Yeah, so they got that. You know, again, credit where credit's due. Little doodads, bit bops. That's pretty neat. And then the narrow bit, I believe, pretty much starts from here, another couple miles. But, you know, this is what the northern bit looks like. It's a bit more just woodsy, leafy. You know, don't get me wrong, we're scant almost 20 miles from frickin' New York City, so it's not like we're in the boonies. This isn't, you know, West Virginia. But it's a little bit more just chill, green, leafy back here. But this is what this side looks like. That looks terrible, by the way. Glad I saw that. Come on, man. You can't blend that in better than that? What the F? That's depressing. Just oversight. Floating road. Just little things, you know. Dovetail's always talking about their Q&A team. I don't think they have one. I think they just say they do. And then there's a group of people that probably do beta test and Q&A stuff, and they never say a dirty word wrong to Dovetail because they want to stay part of the team and keep receiving free stuff so they can tell all their friends, like, ha, I know what's coming. I test stuff for Dovetail. And they never tell them what's wrong with anything because they want to stay in that fold, that warm blanket of, you know, I know what's coming and you don't. It doesn't help anybody. Certainly not Dovetail. But slight rant aside, let's go see if we can check out Yankee Stadium. All right, welcome. So, we are on the little tiny branch of the map. So, this is GCT, New York City, right down Cha. North White Plains up Cha. And you can think of this almost like a Stoughton branch with the Providence line on Boston to Providence. But much, much shorter. So, this is the Yankee Stadium area up here. It's a massive sports complex and baseball team. Sort of like that sport called cricket, but way better and less weird. I'll probably start some grammar fights with that statement. But anyway, so yeah, that's what this is. Check out the station itself. Yankees East, 153rd. The station looks okay. I mean, this is what the station looks like. Now, there are going to be, you know, mega uber foamers that are like, the glass is the wrong shape. It's more of a square than a rectangle. You know, crap like that. I don't care. And a lot of people don't either. I think it's just one of those things where it's people trying to act like they know more than you type of thing. That's where a lot of that comes from. It's really all down to the package, and if there's more pros than cons. That's the way I look at stuff, and that's really all that matters. You can't nitpick every single little thing, or else things would never get done. So yeah, there's slight rant number 2. So there's the baseball bat upside down thingamabob. I'm trying to get high enough so I can see. So you can hear sports going on over there. You can hear sprouting. That's kind of cool. I enjoyed that. But I'm not seeing the stadium. I'm trying. Sometimes you can kind of yeet up on one of these buildings. Here we go. Where's the stadium? That's supposed to be New York City. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? So that's the bridge right there. This is the bridge you go over. That's the Harlem River. Look at that skyline. What the F? I'm sorry. What is that, though? And it's obviously 2D. The lights are always on. It looks ridiculous, without a doubt. The freaking San Francisco skyline looked cooler than that. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, this area looks okay. It's just missing the stadium. I mean, yes, you're not gonna see it down here. I get it, but you know, if you want to take some pictures or whatever, like you can't, because it's not there. So, yeah. But that's it. You know, I didn't want to make this a super long video. For those of you that watched the entire thing, I commend you, because that is quite the undertaking. I tried to keep it as short as possible. Thanks for watching anyhow. Overall, I don't think it's a bad route with the scant time I've spent with it so far. The rolling stock is the star of the show. That is without question. Bits and pieces of the route look okay. All in all, the colors just look wrong and flat and just strange. The ballast seems wrong. A lot of the textures are really low res. We're missing a lot of stuff like proper signs with proper logos. Freaking Empire State Building's missing. MetLife Building's missing. These are iconic things, not only to just New York City, but just Americans as a whole. In Yankee Stadium's missing. There's not a whole lot of rail noise for the trains themselves. There's some going over turnouts and stuff like that, but that's about it. I noticed there's some abandoned stations not around the Park Avenue tunnel area. It's just some kind of weirdness going on. There's definitely no rush hour passengers. That was a flat out lie. And if it's one of those things where Dovetail's going to be like, well, we meant after, you know, we'll add them later. You know, that's video gaming nowadays. Everybody, no matter what game you buy, you are a alpha or beta tester, but you pay the company. That's how it works, because this is missing a lot of stuff. They may add it later. I'm sure other people will denote things that I didn't even figure out that they may add later. But it's not terrible. It's not a bad route. I thought Long Island was pretty boring. It just wasn't near busy enough. I mean, Long Island Railroad is crazy busy, and it's a huge area, and that just sucked. And they tried to update it, and it still sucked, sadly. But that's it, guys. I think that's pretty much all I can cover. I'll try and cover some actual runs you know, here in the next coming days, weeks, and whatnot of each train, and just try and get down to the nitty gritty. But you know, I don't not recommend it. You know, but sure, if you want a good American EMU on a semi-shortish route, you know, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. The trains are the star of the show. They're pretty good. I like them. But the route could have used some work. It just seems like it was rushed. But I will stop blabbing here and bid you adieu at this point. Again, thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you next time. Take care out there, guys.